everyone, welcome to my channel, Mingby and I. My name is Mandy and I'm a full-time reseller. On today's video, I am actually going to go over what my goals and what I was kind of leaving behind in 2024. See if I reached any of those goals or if I kind of changed my mind on any of the decisions that I thought I was going to be leaving behind. And then I will go over what I want to put into the universe for 2025 for personal goals and for my business. If you are new to the channel, I have been reselling since I think 2018. I did just go full time in, when was that? 2023? I think it was June of 2023. So we're at about like a year and a half. And I started the YouTube channel shortly after that. So it's been about a year and a half that I have started full time. So looking at last year's, I have this all written down. I had to go back and watch the video. The first thing that I noticed was wholly blonde. My hair was so blonde. I think for a period of time I had a little bit of hair blindness and I just kept trying to go blonder and blonder. I am very fair skinned. And that is not always the best look that I have found. So yeah, that was just the very first thing that I noticed. For personal goals, it was going to be meal planning and going to the gym. Did that, happen last year? The meal planning started out good, and then I think we just kind of got off of it. And, I'm very much a routine person. If I'm in a good routine and I continuously do it, I have no problem. But then once things kind of start moving around and I stop doing it, it's very easy for me to lose that habit. The gym, we didn't do too well. We've been literally paying and not going. I am trying to work it into some sort of schedule for myself. That's something I'm also going to be working on this year, is to kind of have certain days that I am going to not allow myself to be like, oh, today's too busy, I can't go to the gym. So that's something I'm going to work on. Make plans with people. That was another goal I had last year. That one was like 50-50. There is one of my friends in town. We do get dinner monthly. We've kind of fallen off that with the holidays. So I got to reach out to her again so we can get back on that. That's always nice. But I will say that I did go home quite a bit this last year, which is good. So I can see my family, my nieces. And part of that goal, I think, was to kind of just like be in the moment. Don't be worrying about other things and just, absorb with what is happening at that time so you can truly enjoy yourself. So I think I did pretty well with that. Another thing was letting things go. I do not think I did well with that at all. Sometimes I did, but there are always times where I just get so worked up about like a really small thing and I can't just let it go and then it ruins my entire day. So I guess that will be thrown on for this year's as well. And then learning new things was also on my list. So I think I talked about sewing. So if you can see at my little sewing station back there, I have been doing pretty well with that. In teaching myself, I do have some new plans for this year that will come later in the video. As far as learning other new things, I can't really pinpoint anything that I did. I put a lot of stuff on my Pinterest board that I knew I wanted to do, but this will be the year that I actually start doing that more, is looking at what I have on my Pinterest board and actually doing it. Okay, so what I was going to be starting in my business. And the first one was live sales. I did do that in the summer. I took I think a month and a half or so, and I said, I'm really going to try this, see if I can get some traction. What I have found from live selling, from my personal experience, what I see from other people, I truly think you just need to have a following. I know you can get a following if you are selling good stuff and people are coming back, but from what I can see, people that have big YouTube channels, they have no problem because a lot of their audience is willing to go over there and support them. And the more people you have in a show, the better that your sales are going to be, because it's, going to show other people, hey, there's 100 people in here, maybe I'll check out this show. So what ended up happening with me is I was buying things specifically to put in these shows. And it wasn't selling, or it was selling for only a little bit. And, I thought, oh, well, maybe people will buy multiples and that'll work out. It just never did. So I kind of just cut that short. I think live selling for me personally I don't know. I feel like I was just trying to push myself in this direction because it was the thing to do. Live selling is what we all need to do. I don't think that that's true, and I am fine with letting that go. Maybe if this channel would get more traction and there were more people that would be willing to come to my shows, maybe I'd try it again. I don't know. But as of right now, I will not be live selling. Another one, I'm so glad I did not do this, was getting a pallet. That was kind of hand in hand with the live selling because, I thought that the cost of the inventory would be low enough so I could easily flip them, starting at $3 or something like that. So that did not happen, and I am thankful because I just don't have the room for that. The next one was finding more inventory online. Not so much mystery boxes, but just looking for items to buy low and then flip higher. I did do some of that. I have been doing that on ThreadUp a little bit. I'm thinking about making a video about that, but we'll see. The next was to get my YouTube channel monetized, which that happened. So that was really exciting. I think that happened in like early fall. I can't remember. I'd have to look again. So thank you guys for sticking with me and subscribing. That, is what made it monetized. So I couldn't have done that without you guys. Next was using the GoPro more. I have used it more. I feel like this is kind of with the live sales. I was just trying to push myself into, well, all these big YouTubers, they put it on and they go to the thrift store and they're talking to you, and you don't always have to do what everybody else is doing. I personally like to just film with my phone, little snippets, maybe do some voiceover. That is more comfortable to me. I think there's a fine line of, trying new things and pushing yourself and just trying to throw yourself into something you truly don't want to do. And with that, I would like to get a camera. So if anybody that is a YouTuber and you have a camera that you do like to use, please put it below. I've been trying to look into getting a camera, and I want to make sure it's something that is going to be what I need and in good quality, because I'm going to be spending quite a bit of money. But that I would feel a little bit more comfortable with, as opposed to, the GoPro on my chest. And then the last one was making more budget videos. I did do a couple on Ibotta and Fetch. This is kind of something that I'm going to talk about in, future plans, but that is definitely something I would like to continue. So for 2025, this is going to be stuff personal that I would like to start. This has always been on the list, and it's always to be more healthy. I want to really, truly try and do this. I probably say that every year, but I'm really serious this time. The older I get, the harder it's going to be to lose weight. The more health conditions that can start happening. I mean, I'm getting to the 40-year-old range, and I want to try and just be as healthy as I can be without going overboard. So I want to try and do small changes. I don't want to, throw myself into some unrealistic diet. I've done that in the past. It never works. The one thing that did work was keto. I had the most success with that. But I don't want to restrict myself. That's like the number one thing. I understand you have to, cut back on things, but moderation is going to be the top priority here in this whole, healthier version of me. So I am going to work on meal planning, work on a schedule for me to go to the gym or use the gym that we have in the house, and make that like as part of my schedule, almost like a job where there is no excuse why I can't do it. It's not like, oh, I don't feel like doing it, so I'm not going to. So I'm going to try and make that commitment to myself. Another thing is I would like to go to therapy. I have heard so many great things from people going to therapy. It doesn't, necessarily that you have to have all this trauma or anything like that. It's just always nice to talk to someone that is not judging you. They are there to help you, process through your thoughts or whatever is going on in your life, and just kind of someone to listen. So my new insurance, I do have a copay of only $20 for therapy sessions. I don't know how booked out they are right now. I know in my town specifically, I think this is kind of across the board, but we are very limited on the amount of healthcare professionals we have. So availability might be a problem, but we'll see. So that is definitely something I want to do. I'm very nervous to do it. I am someone that has anxiety on doing new things, meeting new people. So that is probably another reason why I should be going there and learning, coping mechanisms to alleviate that. A hobby I would like to get back into is gardening. Not so much flowers. We have tried in the past to do a couple different vegetables. They just don't pan out, and I think it's because I get really excited in the beginning and then it's like I kind of lose interest in it. So I need to make sure that I'm continuously watering them and making sure that I am giving them the best option. I'm giving them the best hope to grow into the vegetables. And I would like to learn to do a couple new ones like potatoes and onions. Those I've never done before. We've kind of stuck to easier things like peppers, tomatoes, different herbs, that kind of stuff. So I want to kind of get into that. Another goal I want to have is to make this house how I want it. We've bought this in 2017, I think. I don't think we anticipated staying here as long as we have. It was a good starter home. With the current interest rates, we're in no hurry right now to buy something else. Our current rate's like 3 something. So at some point we had kind of stopped on doing renos and stuff just because we were like, oh, we're probably gonna sell soon. So since that doesn't seem to be happening right now, I want to make it as comfortable and how I want it as I can. So that might be one thing. We're doing new flooring in a couple months here once it gets a little bit warmer. That will definitely spruce up the upstairs living room. I would like to do different kitchen countertops, kitchen sink. This is all stuff that we can do. I'm not saying we're going to be knocking down walls or anything like that. Just, small touches that definitely make a bigger difference. And then also just kind of decorating a little bit different. My style and tastes have completely changed from, well, I was like 30 when we bought the house. So it's, so I definitely have a different style and I want to get rid of the old, start with something new and just really kind of make it my own. Okay, so now things that I am going to leave behind. The first one might be taken care of for me shortly because it is doom scrolling on TikTok. I waste so much time doing this. I tell myself, oh, I really like doing it. It makes me in a better mood. For the most part, it's good videos, but there's a lot of stuff on there that is, just inducing my anxiety about things that I can't even change. So that's going to be something I'm going to limit myself. I think a theme for 2025 for me is going to be moderation, and that is in everything. With how much TV I'm watching, how much time I'm on my phone, how much snacking I'm doing during the day. Just trying to get everything in a good balance. Another thing I'm giving up is unnecessary spending. I think this is a big one I've been seeing by a lot of people, like no buying in 2025 or whatever they're calling it on TikTok. I'm pretty good about this. I am very frugal. I hardly ever pay full price for anything. There are exceptions, like if I truly need something right then and there. But I'm definitely going to be looking at where I'm spending money, if there's areas I can cut out. Right now I can't even tell you how many TV subscriptions. We used to be better about it where we'd be like, okay, we're going to have, HBO Max and Netflix for right now. And then we'll get rid of one and put Hulu so we could watch what we wanted to watch. I think we have like all of them right now. So it's ridiculous. So a bunch of those are going. I'm going to look over what I need for my business. I'm going to do one last Amazon order and then I'm getting rid of Prime. I know that a lot of people really like to be able to get something 2 days. I'm at the point right now where I would prefer to pay more to a small business or some other business than give it to Amazon that has horrible working conditions. And I think everybody knows about Amazon. So I would prefer to, give my money to a small business as opposed to a billion-dollar company. So now for business stuff, what I'm going to start, this kind of goes along with the sewing. I've been watching a bunch of videos of people that are upcycling items. They are changing it into something completely different, maybe getting items that are stained or just not a very good color and dyeing them. And it's amazing the results that they're getting. Same thing with these people that are reworking like old vintage Disney bed sheets and stuff into jackets. I am in nowhere near that ability in my sewing. But I think I could kind of work in some of the other stuff that I have seen, just because that's pretty big on Depop, and Depop is one of my favorite places to sell right now. I have also always really enjoyed working with my hands. That has always been something that, calmed my anxiety. It definitely gave me peace by making something, making art. So I think that that will be a good way for me to kind of have a little bit of a creative outlet, especially in this business. I feel like things are very mundane, especially when it comes to your day to day, because it is pretty much over and over and over, you do the same stuff. So it's, list, cross list, do your books, take pictures, go thrift it, and it's just, there really is no creativity there, except maybe if you are like going above and beyond in your descriptions, I guess, or in your photography, but that's not really where I want my creativity to be. I would like to be able to make something out of something old, something that maybe no longer has use in what it was. I would like to also get more familiar with eBay. It is definitely surpassing Poshmark. I feel like Poshmark is a thing of the past for me. I still will always list there just because that was that was my second platform. I started on Mercari, but eBay has just been doing better for me. I know how to do, sales promotions, stuff like that, but I want to try and figure out what the best route for me to do those are. I used to never really do promoted items or sales, but I want to kind of change my business a little bit to more of what brick and mortar stores do, or I guess even online clothing stores, where items are only going to get so much time here that they are going to be listed for full price. Then they're going to get dropped down, drop down, drop down, and drop down. Just because I don't want stuff to sit around here. That has been one of my biggest issues in this business, is hanging on to things for too long and not taking the offers and not doing the sales. I really want to get rid of that mindset and just see the item as an item. Obviously, some pieces I do have some sort of attachment to, if they're like a vintage nightgown that you will probably never find again. That kind of stuff I'm okay with holding on to, but if it's like, I don't know, a Sublime band t-shirt like that, I could probably find 4 of them in this week. So that kind of stuff, I want to just get it in, get it out. With that, I'm also going to be a lot more mindful of just taking the offer. There has been so many times where I'm like, I really wanted $5 more. Really? It's like I have to tell myself, is that $5 worth it to sit in a bin for another 6 months? So I'm really trying to get into the mindset that I am a reseller. I am not a storage unit. I think I am getting better with what I'm picking up, what is selling. I'm finding like my niche in that. So that's helping, but definitely I'm going to work on taking the offer and sending more aggressive offers. And then lastly, I want to find my passion for YouTube again. When I first started, it was really exciting. It was like, I got to get all these videos out and I want to get to 1,000 subscribers. And I think I made that goal and then it kind of plateaued. So I kind of lost interest a little bit. And another thing that's kind of holding me back from YouTube is I feel like no one else is doing this. I personally am like boxing myself in to this channel, being like, I can only do reselling stuff. I understand that a lot of you probably are here for just reselling. That's all you want to see. But as someone that makes content, it's very hard to just stick with that. I'm sure there are people that, truly like to just make reselling content. For me, I like to have a little bit of variety. I've been talking about this a little bit, that I wanted to do this with the channel. I want to do that with the channel. So I'm just trying to get over that hump with myself and just be okay with putting a video out that maybe doesn't have anything to do with reselling. Maybe it is, hey, this is how I do my meal plans and this is how I save money buying groceries because I'm only buying the things on sale and whatever else. Or today I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna take 7 different items I got at the bins that are, stained, missing buttons, whatever, and this is how I'm going to rework them into something. Or today I am going to take everything out of my reselling room and just kind of, go through it all, get rid of stuff, those kind of videos. So I don't really know exactly what it's going to be, but I do think that there will be a little bit of a change. So that will hopefully get me a little bit more excited to make the videos. I will still keep my what sold videos and, other informational ones. I just don't know that it's going to be strictly reselling all the time. Okay, so things that I'm going to be done with in 2025 for my business. This one kind of has an asterisk on it just because I will still get them sometimes, but I am drastically not getting mystery boxes as much as I used to. It's just the quality is not there anymore. I don't know that it really ever was. Some of the boxes were pretty good. I think a lot of times I was telling myself, like, look at, I got these 2 pairs of shoes and they paid for the whole box. And it's like, that's great, but then the rest of them are garbage and I'm not making any money on them, and I wasted the time to list them, store them, and I could have taken, you know, $80 and went to a thrift store and probably bought 10 different pairs of shoes that I am choosing that I know will sell for for a certain amount. If I can find mystery boxes that are manifested, maybe that I would try, because then I know exactly what I'm getting. But a lot of these companies, I mean, I can't fault them. They're business owners themselves. They need to make money. But it just seems like the amount of money you're paying for what you're getting at this point, it's not worth it to me. If you're somebody that is, you know, in an area where you don't have the bins or you don't have good sourcing, then maybe that's an option for you. I wish it were different, because I do like the idea of it just coming to my house and I don't have to spend the time thrifting. But right now, it's just not financially worth it to me for my business to continue getting these boxes. Another thing I'm going to be getting rid of is when I go to the bins to just do a quick overlook of the items. I need to really take some time. There has been way too many times where I come home and I realize that, and some of them are really big flaws that I don't even know how I missed. The lighting is horrible in there, I will give it that. So I just need to take that time at the end before I leave to just really kind of look things over, so I'm not bringing stuff home that's too flawed for me to be able to fix. I'm also, another one is I'm going to cut back on Play-Dohs. I used to go sometimes multiple times a week. Yes, I do like the cash, but now that ThredUp does not take all brands anymore, I was getting stuck with a bunch of like low tier stuff that I personally am not going to sell, and Play-Dohs wouldn't take, you know, a couple times in a row. So now it's like, what do I do with this? So my new game plan is, I have talked about this a little bit, is to get higher quality items for Play-Dohs, stuff that I could sell if I had to, but I just am choosing not to. That I'm not going to find as quickly as the lower tiered stuff like Target brands, Shein, that kind of stuff. Some of those I will pick up because I know certain items they always take. I'm going to try and stick with stuff that I know I will get a higher payout from them. So Levi's they're always taking, like Abercrombie and Fitch jeans, Princess Polly, that kind of stuff that is going to be more enticing for them to take as opposed to a bunch of Shein and stuff. And then I'm hoping that, you know, I will have less items that they're not taking, that I have to find somewhere for them to go. And then the last item that I am going to be getting rid of in 2025, this is kind of a hot take because I am a YouTuber myself, but I am going to stop like blindly listening to YouTubers. There is a lot of information out there. We all do things a little bit different. There are YouTubers that say certain brands sell great for them. I've tried doing it in the past. It just doesn't work. I don't think there's any issue with trying brands, but I wouldn't go crazy and buy a whole bunch of stuff until you kind of try it out yourself. I did just watch a video of somebody talking about different styles they're no longer picking up, and I disagreed with about half of that, just because we have completely different business models. That person is, I think, more brand based and higher end, where I am more of a bins person, and I am looking for style based items and items that are going to sell at a lower cost than what theirs were. So there's definitely nothing wrong with, you know, watching and listening to YouTubers, obviously, because I am one myself. But I think it's just a good idea to take a little bit of a grain of salt with what everybody says, just because things run so much differently depending on where you're sourcing, how you're sourcing, what you're sourcing for, you know, who you're sourcing for, what your business model is. things are so different in this business for everyone that you just kind of have to figure out what works for you. And it's very easy to see other people that are more successful and be like, well, you know, why is it working for them, but it's not working for me? You have to find your own space and learn how to grow from there. So that was my list of things I am starting and things I am letting go of 2025. I hope that now that I've said it out loud, it is put it out into the universe, and hopefully it will happen. So let me know in the comments below one thing you're starting in the new year and one thing you are letting go in 2025. I'm really excited to see the comments. And as always, if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to give it a like. It really helps out the channel and I really appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.